What is up, peoples? All right, then. I thought that was a lighter. I didn't realize a little cutting tool. The way it popped up like that threw me off. Taking advantage of his smooth intro. It's Saturday night. We all know what that means and what that's going to lead to, possibly. So, welcome to the fun. It's always on the. I was about to do it the other way. See, I was a big guy, KG. Like, dang, you tell I've been out of the loop for a minute. So, People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. Over there is the big guy, KG. Down there is the Nubian Sumo, who was rocking the shirt of shirts. So, we started with the That's Us Nubian intro because this is the culmination of the brainchild of the Sumo for our two pay-per-view picks of the picks of the picks opportunities to see who is the leading pick champion, to say the least, for 2023, since we're pretty much more than halfway through the year. So we'll start with the Sumo, talking about what he's wearing, what he's drinking, what he's smoking, get that out the way. KG, I wish I could throw it to you, but word of the street is you didn't win. That's just word of the street.
Well, I didn't win, so whoever it is that's going to be crowned, I want to go ahead and crown you now. That's what I'm thinking right about now.
Wow.
Yes, I'm bitter because things just didn't quite turn over quite well for me. So I couldn't defend my title, and
But you defended it. You just lost it.
You defended it. There's certain little things. It's the little things, We'll go into that though. So, ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is the Nubian Sumo as usual, and today I have on Mr. Rodriguez's favorite shirt, representing Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Thank you. It's been a while since we've had the opportunity to hear that on the show, pronounced so eloquently. So thank you for that, sir.
And tonight, the Nubian Sumo is powered by The Shadow King by AJ Fernandez, as well as an oldie but goodie, the Old Tub Unfiltered Limited Series. Decided to pull this out tonight.
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything coming out the tub is definitely not good for your liver.
Hey, get another shot of that cigar, because we didn't get the close-up. Get another shot of that.
It ain't paying us.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Yes, indeed. Now, you know what my question is.
Yeah, sir.
Now, if you have to rate that combination of stick and bourbon, how does it taste on the palate?
They actually do pretty well together. This is my first time having these two paired together, but they do pretty well. This stick is a little peppery, and the bourbon has a little caramel note to it, so you kind of get the savory and the sweet along to the combination to it. So it's a very good pairing.
Getting you a little ice spice. You know what I'm saying? You got some ice spice?
No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's okay. I guess KG, he didn't watch the EBT award, so that's all right.
Of course I did. I don't support. Wait, let me rephrase that. I don't support that fuckery because I got enough fuckery going on here.
Yes, I do not condone niggardry. I've not watched
all the family out today. Big man,
one time. I've only watched BET one time since Donnie Simpson left the first time.
Hey, you're speaking to your age at that point. If we even throwing it to Donnie Simpson, God,
Hey,
dang.
That's okay. And the only reason I watched BET that one time is because I had a cousin in Manassas who's from Manassas who won a contest where he was able to get his own movie produced and paid for by BET and Greenlight Entertainment. And they showed the movie on BET.
Greenlight Entertainment, wasn't that Matt Damon and
It's
Ben
been
Affleck thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's a big deal.
They funded him to make his own movie that they showed on BET. So that's the only. And the night they aired the movie, I turned on BET. That's the only time I will turn BET on my television.
Well, let me say this. Being from this area, BET was birthed in our backyard. So, I remember riding and looking over to the right when you ride down New York Avenue and seeing BET Studios. I remember that. My mom used to work at she was a manager at the McDonald's at night that was outside of that. So, that was a big thing. And I haven't watched BET consistently since about 2008.
Well, first of all, KG, I want to know why you never ended up on Russ Parr's Get the Hookup. How did you not end up on that?
No. No.
And BET technically went down when Viacom bought them.
Yes.
And then, it basically became Black MTV. And then MTV no longer became MTV. So
that became Teen Pregnancy Central.
Yeah. And then it became, well, at least the popular half of it, Ridiculousness 24/7. But BET had nothing to run 24/7.
Baby Boy.
No.
But hey, look, funny story. When ESPN Zone is like the glue that put this whole thing together, because that's how a lot of us got together. And at one point in time, we all worked for ESPN, almost all of us, excluding the Midnight Rider and Big Jim and Lady C. But the rest of us have all worked for BET, for ESPN Zone at one time. When I used to do those night shifts down in DC, I would get off. And when I got off, I would go home and watch Midnight Love on BET. And I wouldn't go to sleep because I had to see Where I Want to Be by Donnell Jones, which was always followed up with I Wish by Carl Thomas. And if I didn't watch those two videos back to back in any order, I couldn't sleep.
Bless his little heart.
So, it was like a ritual. And then, all right, let me fire up this 2K, get on the phone with this girl that I was working with, stay on the phone with her till we fall asleep on the phone.
See what that younger generation and whippersnappers James be doing? They had to come home and listen to the love songs. See what you did? Y'all didn't raise them right. That's the problem.
Straight boo loving.
Didn't raise them right. They supposed to be out there in the streets.
At least he had something decent to listen to.
Yeah.
Unlike the folks these days.
I can't be listening to that hibbity hop.
Is that what it's called? I call it pipehead music, most of it.
You better not be calling this crap hip hop. Ain't nothing hip or hop about this shit.
Pop a perk 30 and I'm on that bitch right now. Pop a perk 20 and I'm on that bitch right now.
If we saw any indication on the BET Awards, and we'll get ready to jump on to the reason for the season, the Hip Hop Awards is going to be an extra hot mess for sure. So who knows how that's going to turn out? Celebrating the hip hop. At least Buster got his thing, and I'm mad that he only got 2 minutes.
Shinsuke Nakamura might be on there with Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah, because he got the song Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Well, Bad Bunny might as well show up with Booker T. We got a match.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know, but either way, we have a tendency and a long historic history of getting off the rails. So Unfortunately, black people got us off the rails nice and early with all that chicanery that was going on, or lack of
Disrespecting
clothing, or I don't know,
disrespecting
people
Bobby
taking
Jones
in
like
front
that,
of Bobby
Jari.
Jones. Yeah, it's like, he's like, Lord, I have seen the promised land, and there is the devil shaking that thing right in front of my face.
Talking about
Speaking of,
her you know what is pink and her booty hole brown.
yep, yep. And speaking of the devil, it's Nubian Sumo. If that's just Nubian, telling us about what.
Wow. Okay.
Did he pop
Of a
off?
transition.
So,
Yeah, I know.
so
This
telling us
guy.
about what happened at Forbidden Door, AEW's Forbidden Door, which is a combination component of That's Just Nubian, because he's also going to recap his brainchild for tonight's show, the culmination of this two pay-per-view pictacular to lead to the new Pix Champion.
Set me up.
I did not set you up. I gave you valid reason for doing this. Okay?
Okay. How you know I didn't want to pull a Hogan and not defend my title at all?
Well, you had the right. You had the right to do so, but I know UKG is being somebody with character and integrity to not do something like that.
Dang.
I was going to lose by disqualification. I was going to pull out the sledgehammer like old school Triple H and get myself.
Actually, you pretty much did, and I'll explain that later. You did pretty much everything you just said that you weren't thinking about doing. So, but like I said, I'll get to that. But being that there were two pay-per-views that were going to happen between last week and this week, which were Forbidden Door last Sunday and Money in the Bank, which happened earlier today, I figured we could do something a little different than the triple threat concept that we usually go with. Because usually we have one pay-per-view, we make our picks, whoever does best wins, right? But we had two this time. So I figured instead of doing the triple threat method and going two matches or just pick one, I incorporate both of them, and we do it in an ECW three-way dance concept, which was an elimination. So all three of us made our picks for Forbidden Door, and whoever came out not as well would be eliminated, and the final two would make pick. We would all three make picks for Money in the Bank, but the two that were left over would be up for our championship. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, Forbidden Door was last Sunday, and I'll go over what the picks were so that everybody will be up on who did what. So, starting off with Mr. Don here, he went with Athena over Billy Starks, Adam Cole over Tom Lawler, Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Naito over Jericho, Sammy, and Suzuki. The Elite with Tomohiro Ishii and Eddie Kingston would beat the Blackpool Combat Club with Shota Umino and Takeshita. Mm-hmm. He said Orange Cassidy would win the four-way to retain his title. CM Punk over Kojima, Sonata over Jungle Boy, MJF over Tanahashi, Ospreay over Kenny Omega, Daniel Bryan over Okada, and Tony Storm over Willow Nightingale. Mm-hmm. Now, I pretty much agreed with him for the most part, except I said Okada over Daniel Bryan. I said the BBC team would beat the elite team, and then later they announced the 0 hour editions, of which I chose Stu Grayson over El Phantasmo, the Mogul Embassy over what you could call chaos, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, El Desperado, and Chuck Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I also chose Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, and TJP with the United Empire over LIJ. And Don agreed with me, except he wanted to have El Phantasmo over Stu Grayson.
Right.
Okay. Now, when KG chimed in,
bless his
he
heart,
said he wanted Omega to retain, Okada over Danielson, MJF retaining, Jungle Boy over Sonata, Punk over Kojima, Willow over Tony Storm, Zack Sabre to win the international championship, Kingston and Ishii and the Elite winning, Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito winning, Adam Cole winning, and Athena over Starks. Now, KG decided not to chime in on the 0 hour. Why? I have no clue.
Luther.
So, going into the results.
Mm-hmm.
First match of the night, El Desperado, Chuck, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta versus Toa Liona, Bishop Khan, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage, of which Swerve Strickland got the pin over Rocky Romero. Then you had Stu Grayson versus El Phantasmo, of which El Phantasmo wound up winning that match.
Yeah.
You had Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Shingo Takagi of Los Ingobernables de Japón versus TJ, Kyle Fletcher, and Jeff Cobb, of which Shingo Takagi wound up pinning TJP for that win. So Los Ingobernables wound up winning. You also had Athena versus Billy Starks, which was one of the matches for the Owen Hart tournament on the women's side, and Athena wound up winning that match to end the 0 hour. So in the first match of the night on the main card, you had MJF defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Mm-hmm.
You had CM Punk in his first round match for the Owen Hart tournament, going over Satoshi Kojima, of which he was getting a lot of boos. He was getting booed a lot during that match. You know, it was very interesting how he was in Canada and he wound up getting booed as opposed to being in Chicago and being praised. It's kind of funny.
Well, we know how Canada can be that way sometimes.
Then you had the four-way match for the international championship: Katsuyori Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia going up against the champion Orange Cassidy, of which Orange Cassidy wound up winning that match and retaining his title. You had the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata successfully defend his title against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, of which Hook wound up coming out toward the end of the match, actually at the end of the match, And Jack Perry wound up turning on him. So if you all watched the show Wednesday night, you have seen his reaction to that, or his reasoning for that. Then you had John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino going up against Matt and Nick Jackson, Hangman Page, Tomohiro Ishii, and Eddie Kingston, for which Tomohiro Ishii wound up pinning Wheeler Yuta. Then you had for the AEW Women's World Championship, Willow Nightingale was challenging against the champion Toni Storm, of which she wound up winning. And before the match happened, there was a challenge from a woman by the name of Julia, who is a gaijin over in Japan that works under Stardom, which is the sister company to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and has challenged Willow Nightingale to her New Japan Strong Heavyweight Women's Championship. And so that will take place at the Independence Day Independence Day shows that they're having in Japan on July 4th and 5th, of which we'll go into on next week. I'll do a review of those next week. We probably won't have too much time this week to go over the cards or anything, but we'll go over everything, and I'll do a review next week for those days. And then for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, you had Kenny Omega defending his title against Will Ospreay, of which Will Ospreay wound up winning the championship, which that match was just outstanding. If you haven't watched any of this pay-per-view, if you don't watch anything else, you need to watch these last two matches. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay is an instant classic. I don't care what nobody says or how anybody feels about it. Those two guys, when they get together, it's magic. And I'm just hoping that they don't get together anytime soon, because they need to simmer on that a while before they get back in the ring together. Really.
Yeah, there'll be a rubber match, but it'll be further down the road.
Actually, they're saying that there may not be, because Will Ospreay doesn't want to wrestle him anymore. Not like I said, not anytime in the near future. So he's good. Like they got one. They're 1-1 right now in their series. So he's pretty much content with the way things are now, and he doesn't want to oversaturate that rivalry. So yeah, so we'll have to see. But that match was outstanding. And then Tetsuya Naito, Darby Allin, and Sting went up against Les Suzuki Gods, Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara, of which Tetsuya Naito wound up pinning Minoru Suzuki for the win. And then for your main event, Kazuchika Okada got into a match. It was what they're calling a dream match against Bryan Danielson, of which Bryan Danielson wound up winning that match. So, as far as the picks are concerned, like I said earlier, KG he kind of shot himself in the foot by not picking the 0 hour. So that took him out of 3 matches altogether. Yep. So he wound up
one tragedy.
So he wound up with picking 5 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches that were on the main card. And including the 3, the 4 matches, the 13 matches altogether, Mr. Don wound up picking all but one correctly.
All but one. Tragedy.
All but one. Both of us missed the LIJ versus United Empire match. We both picked United Empire.
Right.
So in the three-way dance, Mr. KG, the champion,
Hey.
has been eliminated. And that leaves myself and Mr. Rodriguez in the ring to determine who is the new champion. And that would be determined earlier today during the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now, before we get into the Money in the Bank, did anybody have anything they wanted to say or talk about when it came to the Forbidden Door event?
I'm just happy I won. I don't mind being a co-champion for that pay-per-view, as long as KG was nowhere close to the podium. Olympics is next year. You know, I got gold. James got gold. I got silver. James got silver. Oh, hell. I got bronze. James got bronze. Oh, shoot. KG, we out of medals.
Just go ahead and tell me the hate is real, brother.
You got, what was that, graphite or something? We got some, like, we could make you something out of cement.
Just go ahead and tell me that the hate is real, man.
No, overall, it was a really good pay-per-view. I think this is probably overall one of the better Forbidden Doors that they've done. Over, was it 3? I think this is the 3rd.
This is actually they've only had 2.
Was it 2?
Yeah, they've only had 2. This is the second one.
Japan infused in there, so I thought maybe it was another. Well, they've had pay-per-views where they've had more Japanese talent, but I guess
right. But they've had 2 Forbidden Doors, right?
Yeah, so it is getting better and more entertaining, and it's helping to build the momentum because when we get to August, it was August 27th, when they're out there in the UK, they're going to need all the momentum that they can get. So we take from that, and then we go straight. You know, we've got collisions happening, and then we've got CM Punk back in play, and you know, there's some decisions that are being made that have changed the game a little bit and given opportunities to some folks. So it's a lot happening in AEW. I'd say for the most part for the positive, and I'm quite sure Tony Khan is working on some more little acquisitions and some secret sauce before we get to the UK to really jazz that pay-per-view up and make it bigger than expected. So I thought they did a great job, no question. Definitely a really good pay-per-view. So they've had, you know, past 2 pay-per-views have been really good. So no issues at all for me on what AEW is doing. Anything from you, KG?
No complaints. I mean, you know me. I'm a little biased anyway because they stole my idea that I had 3 years ago. Hell, probably longer than that. I think I've been talking about this since we started the show. Like you stole my idea and then you watered it down. Like I don't appreciate that. But I give credit where credit is due. They did a really, really, really good thing. Matches were great. The flow very, very well. I just wish they stopped watering down my product. See, this is blue magic. You can't call this blue magic. You know, if I was a CEO of General Mills or of Pepsi, you don't know what I look like. But you can't go put your name on my damn product. You could put the motherfucker in a chokehold and call it blue dog shit for all I care. But shouldn't be calling it Forbidden Door because this is my idea and you don't have to chop my idea down.
You know what that sound like? It sound like
Come on.
So like you have some beef. You on mute, man. How you
You-
going? Yeah, one job. Be ready to talk after the intro.
I'm right
video.
here.
You're mute.
Oh shit! Well, I was on mute because it was playing. But yes, I do have beef.
I'll put the man over. Give him a little quick intro.
I got beef. Think about this.
I thought he was gonna talk. I thought he was gonna bring up the movie reference, but he made that.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing Frank told Nikki. You don't have to chop down the product. It's good for what it is. They've watered down my damn product so much. It's upsetting. It really is. The amount of money that can be counted on one of these things. Just remember, I did it first. I wrote the fucking book on it. This is mine.
Here's the thing, though, and not to defend Tony Khan in any way, right? But Tony Khan has in a way, he's put himself into a corner because he's got two different organizations that are pitted up against each other that don't like each other, but they have connections to both New Japan and AEW. And he was kind of hamstrung by not being able to use these companies for their product because it could have been twice what it was. Because you got Roosh and Bandito who recently left AAA because of the way they were complaining about the way they were being booked and matches they were having and things of that nature, all kinds of stuff of their contract and all this and that. And so they wound up just up and leaving. Them two and Bestia del Ring, which is Roosh, Dragon Lee, and Dralistico's father. So they wound up leaving, and then you had Conan, who was pretty much the booker for AAA, who was saying, they had all these issues and whatnot, and they were talking all this stuff, and they were talking about not showing up for shows and whatnot. So we just let them go. If they feel like the grass is green on the other side, then let them go. So that's what they did. They were pretty much under at least an agreement, if not a contract, with AEW. So let them have it. Right. But you got CMLL and AAA who don't like each other. You got Andrade Del Idolo, who has connections to CMLL. So AAA is saying, okay, but AEW has the better relationship with AAA. So they're saying, if you want to keep this relationship with us, you can't use CMLL talent. So that's why you didn't really see any luchadors on this show, because they're trying to keep these two relationships, and it's just messed up. So you could, instead of having the two organizations that were prominent, AEW and New Japan, you could have had AEW, New Japan, you could have had AAA, CMLL. You probably could have included some of Impact Wrestling, especially since Impact is about to have their Multiverse United 2 coming up, which is them in New Japan. So, because New Japan has just got their fingers in all kind of jars, because they have a show with AEW, they got a show coming up with Impact Wrestling. They had just had Triple Mania with CMLL. I think they got something going on with AAA coming up, not in the future. And you got this show that Hiromu Takahashi is putting together called the All-Star Junior series that they had in Japan not too long ago. They're going to have a version of it in America where they're going to have juniors, middleweights, cruiserweights, from everywhere, all over. I mean, the last time they had one, there were 12 organizations represented on one card. So it was crazy. And he's talking about bringing that to the United States. I think it's going to be in Los Angeles or somewhere in California coming up.
So that's pretty funny.
I'm working, man. I'm trying to get my Japanese on for real. I want to be able. My goal in life is to be able to watch a New Japan show in Japanese and be able to understand every word they say. Before I leave this great green, I want to be able to watch a New Japan show and understand every word that they say.
I don't know, maybe anticlimactic at that point.
That's all right, as long as I get it done. Goals, man. You got to have goals in life.
That's right. So
anyway,
that was the premise.
What's that?
I was saying that was the premise of the competition. And
yeah, pretty
much of Forbidden Door. So that means there's only 2 people left.
Well, we still included KG in the picks for Money in the Bank. We didn't want to leave him out.
I don't know why.
Even though he became special enforcer outside the ring to make sure everything was on the up and up. So we go into today, 3:00. They had the Money in the Bank premium live event. No show, no rest, no matches during the pre-show. So it was all recap on the pre-show. Yep. Going into the picks, KG went with Seth Rollins retaining his world championship. He said the Usos were going to win against Roman and Solo. He said LA Knight would win the men's Money in the Bank. Trish Stratus would win the women's Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes would win. Riddle would be your new Intercontinental Champion. And Raquel and Liv would win the Women's Tag Team Championship. Mr. Rodriguez said that Seth would win over Finn. Roman and Solo would win over the Usos. He agreed with LA Knight winning Money in the Bank. He went with Bayley winning the women's Money in the Bank. Cody over Dominic. Gunther retaining the Intercontinental Belt. And Ronda and Shayna retaining over Raquel and Liv. And I myself went with
just stop there.
Io Shirai winning the women's Money in the Bank.
Don't read them. You don't have to tell people.
Winning the men's Money in the Bank, even though I thought it would be Logan Paul. It was kind of between Damian Priest, Logan Paul, and LA Knight for me, and it took me a while, and I went with Damian Priest. Shayna and Ronda retaining, Gunther retaining, Cody winning, Seth retaining, and Solo and Roman winning their match. So,
who screwed me?
In the women's, so in the first match, you had the men's Money in the Bank match, which was Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul, of which Damian Priest wound up winning the men's Money in the Bank.
Thank you, Bad Bunny.
Not 100% mad, but I think that should have been LA Knight. I think that's a major screw job because the dude's white hot right now. I understand you need to get Priest over, but LA Knight is white hot right now. You got to jump and strike while the iron is hot.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. The purpose of the Money in the Bank briefcase is to help somebody go over.
I think Damian Priest is already over.
Knight doesn't need that help. He's already over. Yeah, but he has more of a storyline to deal with. LA Knight doesn't really have anybody that he's in a storyline with. He doesn't have a bone to chew on. He's after everybody, and he's just trying to get himself over. Whereas Damian Priest has beef with Finn Balor. There's inner fightings within Judgment Day. He's had all of these matches here recently where the higher ups, Triple H and all of them are like, yeah, we need to do something with this guy. Really, we really need to do something with this guy. So you put the briefcase on him. You got Finn going after the world championship with Seth Rollins. That brings him into that match, and it just furthers the infighting within the group. Also gives Seth somebody else to have to look over his shoulder for with that briefcase. So it's a lot more layers to Damian having it than LA Knight having it, because LA Knight is doing everything on his own right now. I mean, he's doing very well.
Mad at it. From my perspective, I just would like to see LA Knight with it, just carry it around. That just that extra little something to really pique the interest. Since he's kind of fitting into that Stone Cold Rock S type of lane, to be able to just come out and just beat somebody with the thing and then just leave. You may not have to catch it and you can just have it.
He's too much like Stone. He's too much like The Rock. He comes off too much like The Rock to me. It's getting him over. It is what it is. And
it's a necessary evil, since you're competing with now a company that technically is, trying to resurge the good old boy, wrestling with WCW, that being AEW. So to be able to provide, organically, I guess, a taste of the Attitude Era without the Attitude Era, that's not that bad. And it's not like, for those that have been watching him for a while, you get it, with Eli Drake and stuff like that. He's been doing this for a while. So it's not like he just started this quote unquote gimmick and now he's just trying to copy. This has been a persona that he's been presenting for, almost 20 years. So we're getting consistency of, what he was capable of doing, even when he was in a performance center many moons ago up until now. So, I'm not mad at that. It's good to have a little bit of extra fun, as long as he's not, the stunner's not his finish. He's not running around calling people Hermie and stuff like that, taking everything 100% from, the playbooks. But he's just getting up to the line and just towing the line. So I'm cool with it. But again,
the only thing he's missing from his Impact days, because he's always done the yeah. He's always done the yeah. But the dummy. That's what I want. The dummy. He used to hit both. He used to have one of those, those buttons that you used to get from Office Depot. And you hit it and it makes some kind of noise or whatever. He had one that said dummy, dummy, dummy. I used to love that.
I would think that to come back, but that's a fine line these days. It's like you can't bring the Eugene character back in WWE because somebody would get mad. So, the dummy thing have to be done once in a while, sparingly, or something like that, in the right circumstance. Maybe a promo one-on-one, like him talking to Grayson Waller, or him talking to the Miz and one of their little mid-show episode things. Then maybe he can sneak it out. But other than that,
you got to think about this. It's a lot of things you can't bring back. You can't bring back John Cena telling a Asian woman dressed as a kabuki character that if she goes back with him, that's not the only white that's going to be on her face tonight. You know, you can't have The Rock running around calling some boom operator Mike or the chick behind the camera this big fat female pig right here. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Too sensitive these days. My wife tells me I can't. I got a list of things that I can't say on these shows. I have a list. I can't.
She told me, say nothing.
Man,
what? Who said we can't say nothing?
I want here Thursday.
I would love to see that list. I would love to see
it too, because we crossed a lot of lines many times.
We need to have a segment just about your list.
She came around the corner and I said, she told me I couldn't say a certain phrase. So at the end of the show, I said, look, we got to get, I didn't call nobody that certain phrase. And I said the phrase, she came around the corner. She was on me.
So wait a minute.
I want a segment.
She's right here right now.
I want a segment about that list, and I want her sitting right beside you so she can explain why she got that list. Or why she got those things on that list.
What is on the, you know what? What is on the list? That's what we want to know.
List.
Well, she's standing right here, so I can't tell right now.
You can't tell.
Yeah, right. We need to get permissions first. We need to get some paperwork done and get the legalities taken care of. And then we're gonna have us a segment of nothing but this list. Just like WWE got their list of stuff that you can't say and do. We got KG and his list. We need to break that list down.
Do we need to get DX to read that list?
You know what? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. You know, I did not have sex with. I did not sleep with that intern. I was up all night long.
You know what? You know what, KG? Would it be easier if you just sent me what you can't say, so I could at least know what you can't say?
I can do that.
Yeah, put that in the group. So you break that down in the group so you can see what it is.
I think that's wild crazy. Because at least that way I'm in common ground. You can't.
Yeah, we can say it, but you can't say it. And then, but you at least you explain it.
You know, once in a while a unicorn may knock me out, and then once in a while you just get knocked out. Cold.
Okay, there's one right there. That's one that I can't say. I can't call people that name.
What name?
I just put in the chat. I can't call people that name.
If we had to say it properly, it would be a head wrapped premium garden tool.
I'm not. That's the newest one.
That is what you cannot say.
I can't call people that.
First of all, I'm just going to be honest. That is the first time I've ever heard that phrase.
Yeah, that's the first one. I've never seen those three words put together like that.
I have not.
You gotta watch Eric Mays. You gotta watch Eric Mays, and then you'll understand.
I didn't even know handkerchief head hose was a thing.
I didn't say it.
Is that a Chris Rock thing?
I didn't say it. I told him I can't say it. I said that's what I can't say.
That was a Floridian slip. I wrote it down on my notepad just to make sure because I was confused because I've never heard somebody derogatorily speak about a handkerchief. That's been around since the Wild West. That's like, you know, part of I guess, you know, suave etiquette when it comes down to a guy, you know, he whips out his handkerchief, or some people call it a pocket square chip thingy now. Now, I don't know if in the midst of pulling that out, there is some fellatio going on by a woman of the night. Now, that is kind of interesting. So if the handkerchief is covering the fellatio from the garden operations equipment manager, then I could kind of see it. But if the handkerchief is not covering anything, then what is the purpose of the handkerchief in relation to the head hoe? Or, James, is the handkerchief a symbol that the number one garden tool enthusiast is the top of the line person, and that's kind of like the headmistress, and the headmistress carries around.
Just stop. Just let it go. Let it go. Can we move on? I'm about to get in trouble because you had to say it. You asked me to tell you, so you wouldn't say it. You still said it. Then you try to explain it.
I thought it was something like general, like crack ass cracker, or
no. I'm actually allowed to say that.
Or you can't say retard, or midget. Things that you really can't say. But no, this is some off the wall stuff, man. I think you just put some words together on the back side behind you and just call somebody that, and then now you're in trouble for making up stuff.
No. I got that from Eric Mays because she likes to watch Eric Mays videos, and we found that quite funny.
Is that what they be saying in them little trap houses?
He was making fun of the lady hat when he said it, and so that's what happened.
Did she have a
Eric Mays? Who that is?
Huh?
Does she have a?
I said you need to. I have no clue who that is.
Is he related to Billy Mays, the guy who be doing like?
What is he on? Detroit City Council? I think Eric Mays. It's Tabitha Brown's brother. He's on the Detroit City Council. He has no cut cards.
Okay, that guy. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Okay, I got you.
I'm sorry. Her brother mocks him. I thought that was her brother. So her brother does reenactment videos with his voiceovers.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very funny. But Eric Mays is actually hilarious because the dude he has no cut cards.
So it's not related to Billy Mays. There's no Flex Seals or nothing like that he's promoting.
No.
Is there a real handkerchief in the midst of this?
Her hat looked like one. That's where it came from.
Okay, I'm with that. Was she giving fellatio to?
No, she wasn't. It was a city council meeting.
To the fact that she was a garden tool representative.
It was a city council meeting, and her hat resembled that. So that's
all
why
the people in the city council was getting fellatio by this chick with the weird hat.
No.
There was no fellatio involved, sir.
Oh boy, we know what you got on your mind tonight, man.
This was last week, and all kind of fellatio, and he was carried over to this week.
First of all, anytime I get to go ahead and just say that word is pretty fun. Just throw it out there. So we're talking about words that can't be seen. You just go ahead and on
5-10 minutes.
I know I'd rock the heck out of that. So we gonna get in trouble. It'll probably be from the boss BJ, because like first of all, you were saying fellatio too much. Like, yeah, you're right. And secondly, you weren't supposed to say handkerchief head hoe. I'm like, you're right, man. That's on me. That's on me. It should have been on KG, but that's on me. My bad. We now return you to your non-handkerchief wearing person who's never been in a Home Depot.
Oh Lord, Jesus,
man. Okay, so we just talked about the men's Money in the Bank. Damian Priest wound up winning that. Next match was the team championship. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Shayna Baszler wound up turning on Ronda Rousey and left her in the ring. And wound up giving the win to Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. I kind of should have known myself that they were going to give Raquel and Liz this belt back because they probably had plans for them. They got messed up when Liv got hurt. So they're going to continue with whatever those plans are. Plus, you know, you got Ronda Rousey, who's had all these problems and situations that she's been bringing up about how she's being booked and how women are being treated in the WWE and da-da-da-da. So, you know, they probably wanted to get the belt off of her and kind of let her have some time off or deal with her and however they're going to deal with her. So Raquel and Liv are your new women's champions. So you look forward to seeing them on all three brands. So the next match, the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther defending against Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle coming in with that ankle that they've been working on for the past 2-3 weeks. Imperium has been working on. They kind of weakened him to get ready for this match, of which Gunther wound up taking full advantage of and wound up winning this match to retain his belt. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes Drew McIntyre returning to WWE and challenging for the Intercontinental belt. So we can look forward to those matches again. And then they go into Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley on the outside. Cody wound up winning that match pretty handily. You know, what it was pretty much one-sided most of that match. And then break out the lotion for Don, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes John.
Why you gotta go there? You know what I'm saying? Then we just have a whole big issue. See, now he got a beating. And he had to jump off.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead and talk about my man Jonathan.
For 10 minutes, and I can't talk about you having lotion.
I didn't say anybody was getting Felicio on his show.
Well, you might put it on your knees or your inner thighs or something. You know, you might be a little.
I was trying to ask
you know,
so I agree with that.
You with a condition or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I had to lather up, but I've elevated, just so you know, because I feel disrespected that you be calling out the lotion. I currently use argan oil only, thanks to my girl Josie Moran. So, you know, if I'm whipping out anything, it's some pure whipped argan oil. Put that to good use.
So John Cena comes out and he's hyping up the crowd, you know, telling them, you know, London is one of the UK is the best crowds for wrestling, and how a lot of organizations don't want to come to the UK because they feel UK fans try to take over the shows and whatnot, but they're just so adamant and so passionate about wrestling and the whole thing. And he's trying to hype them up toward giving them their chance to speak to someone or express themselves to have WrestleMania come to the UK, in particular London. Mm-hmm. And then here comes Grayson Waller. And Grayson Waller comes out and does his Grayson Waller thing. You know, London shouldn't be London. London is a crap city with crap weather. You know, you need to go somewhere with the sun shining and beaches and ladies in bikinis and the whole thing. It doesn't need to be in London. It needs to be in Australia. So then that turns into Grayson Waller jumping John Cena. He turns around, turns back around again, and runs into a attitude adjustment, and the segment is over. So they could have put another match in there for somebody. But oh well. Okay. It's not my television, so we'll move on.
A premium live event. That's correct.
It's not my premium live event. So then we go into the women's Money in the Bank match where Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bayley, Io Sky, and Trish Stratus, which I kind of like this one over the men's. I kind of like this match over the men's Money in the Bank match. It was a lot going on in this match. I was trying to figure out who Becky Lynch was trying to evoke with her ring gear.
I thought it was the Phoenix from Marvel.
I thought it was Banshee.
Could be as well. See, the problem is the color scheme with the green.
Right.
Because
it's not exactly what their suits work would be, but it's the colors, and I figured with the stripes and whatnot, it would have been Banshee. But I don't know. We'll have to. Maybe it'll come out soon, and we'll let you know how that went. But after all, and
so yeah, that's what I was thinking. Jean Grey.
Yeah, it could have been Jean Grey, but is it Banshee UK though? Wasn't Banshee British?
No. It depends on which story version it is. You talk about the male Banshee, right? Brother the Sky. No, I'm thinking Havoc. Sorry, that's on me. Banshee may be, or at least Irish.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's, Yeah, I'm thinking Banshee.
Figure like that as well.
See, I'm coming up with these quick references, man, because I'm on it.
Well, you gotta do something since you're trying not to get beat.
That's why we have you do these things.
How you get beat and your whole signal disappeared? God dang.
She beat the signal out of me. I mean,
heck yeah, man. God dang. You ain't gotta go to the bathroom.
Well, we don't see no bruises yet. So within all the madness and everything that went on, and the turning of Bayley on Io Sky, it wound up being Io Sky winning the women's Money in the Bank. So she's got the briefcase, and we could probably see her turning face at some point. Going up
Maybe she'll actually turn to the point where she can speak some English to cut the promos.
No, why? She's doing just fine with the Japanese. Especially when in the ring, especially her and Oscar going back and forth with it.
It's entertaining, but still.
And then you have, for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth freaking Rollins going up against Finn Balor, which I thought was a pretty decent match.
I did.
They did pretty well. You had Damian Priest come down around the last third of the match with the briefcase and made his presence known, sat at ringside. And there was a spot where Finn Balor was going up for a coup de grace, and Damian Priest wound up standing up looking like he was getting ready to head toward the ring with the briefcase. And Finn Balor looked at him and was like, "What are you doing?" And that held him up to where he wound up missing that. And that led to the curb stomp and the win, of which Finn Balor and Damian Priest were on the outside of the ring after the match, arguing with each other and just building up what I was talking about earlier, that infighting between them two, and and it looks like they're looking at who it should be me going after the world championship. You should just wait your turn type thing with Finn, and Damian being like, well, I'm in contention too. I've won a lot of matches to try to get in this position. So, you can't hinder me from doing that. And I mean, whoever gets the belt as long as it's in the Judgment Day, right? So that should be an interesting storyline moving forward. And then the Bloodline Civil War, the Usos going up against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, of which you had Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns.
What's the respect on his name?
The right-hand man, the main event, Jey Uso, giving Roman Reigns his first pin in almost 3 years. Pinning your undisputed heavy WWE champion, of which I'm sure you're going to get a title. He's going to get a title shot at some point off of this match. So, speaking of title shots,
hold on. Let me go ahead and hit the button since I was technically screwed because of a daggone swerve that I don't agree with. But go ahead.
You had 1, 2, 3, 4 matches going to KG. You had 1, 2, 3 matches going to Mr. Rodriguez. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches going to your winner and new Le Champion, the Nubian Sumo.
That's it. I can't take this. I can't. I'm doing something about this, KG. I'm doing something about this.
Woo! You can do nothing and like it. I'm the man now. Me.
KG, say something. Say something. Get the bullshit. I blame Shayna Baszler for this. She ain't need to turn. She could have did that tomorrow. I blame EO. She didn't have to take those new pictures.
Well, look, hey, Rob, that's the same thing I said. I said Goldie when he pulled it out. I was like, oh, shoot. He pulled out the big gold. But I knew this was going to happen. It's a lot of things. That whole Ronda and Shayna thing, they're not going to cultivate that because they never do. When it comes to the women, and we were talking pre-show, and we were talking about Zelina Vega. And I said, hey, why do they never push her the way they should?
Because she's short.
I don't give a damn. She can wrestle. When she was a manager. Huh?
So was Rey Mysterio. They could make her the women's version of the Giant Killer if they wanted to, but they're just choosing not to. They don't know what to do with Zelina Vega, and they're probably still punishing her for that Twitch thing. And I would probably put it out there that they're punishing Ronda Rousey for all the comments that she's been making recently. So they took the belt off of her for that.
Well, Ronda's been making, comments all along, but the heavy rumor is that Ronda, considering that, what was it, Amanda Nunes that retired? Wasn't it her?
Yeah, Amanda Nunes.
That Ronda is thinking about coming out of retirement.
Why? Because the baddest woman on the planet has retired?
That's the rumor.
Oh, Ronda wouldn't be able to do nothing with Amanda Nunes.
Say it again.
She couldn't touch Amanda Nunes. So that's why, she probably saw her coming up and was like, nah, let me go ahead and get out of here now before I have to do anything with her. And now that she's retiring, she's like, okay, now I can go back. I can actually now.
She may be gunning to dethrone Nunes and give her the L.
No. What was
I think she's going to retire champion. She's just going to give the belts up.
Yeah, that's what she did. But what was the last girl that Ronda Rousey went up against and got the beat out of her?
I don't remember her name.
She walked her like a dog.
I don't remember the name though. But see, that was just like I forgot about. Was her
last name Tate?
I think so.
Tate. I don't remember. I know she fought Misha Tate, but I can't remember her last match. But yeah, it was the same thing like when on Ultimate Fighter, Shayna Baszler had second guessed somebody, was talking mad trash. Ronda was talking mad trash, like, oh, we didn't got to practice for this. We're going to destroy her. And that girl beat the brakes off of Shayna Baszler. The brakes off of her. Had Shayna just glossy-eyed looking up at the sky. Everybody was stunned, like, what the hell just happened? Like, yeah, she whooped your girls.
Holly Holm. That's who it was.
Holmes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Holly Holmes, yeah. I remember that fight. That was nothing nice.
But here's the thing.
Ronda went in too cocky.
Ronda, she fought Amanda Nunes too.
Oh, she did.
That was a good fight with Nunes though.
I don't remember fighting Nunes. That must have been his career.
2016.
Fight, she was
and she lost in the first round.
Just totally cocky.
Who? Ronda?
Yeah, lost in the first round. I would have left too. You supposed to be, granted, don't get me wrong. I love me some Ronda Rousey. And I especially loved her in the Fast and Furious movie because she was kicking Letty ass. But you can't run from challenges like that because you got your ass kicked, man. You got to come back harder. That's the perseverance of a champion. Now she's retiring. You talking about coming out of retirement? I can't respect that.
Like I said, she was talking about, giving her the one more fight. And everybody's like, no, you can't retire like that and just win the belt and then talking trash about the girl you beat and how you retiring with the belt so that way she's not going to beat you for the belt. So, the rumors that Ronda would come back and fight Nunes if Nunes wanted to do it and, see what happens with that fight.
It'd be a money fight.
That's right. It'd be a Mayweather deal. And now that it's all under
Mayweather deal where?
I'm just talking about money in reference to money. Floyd fighting, you're going to get some cash out of it. Everybody getting paid.
Let me explain something to you. When you talk about money, I wish people would stop bringing up Floyd Mayweather's name when you're talking about fighting and money. Because Floyd Mayweather is a clone. He's a copy. He's just a carbon copy of Sugar Ray Robinson with the entourage and the money and all of that and the flashy style. That's all he is.
He may be a copy, but he's the relevant, at this point. He's the one that is garnishing more in revenue than Sugar Ray was and spending it and keeping it because, every time he does the one-off, it's millions of dollars. So he's putting back into the bank what he's spending for just one job. That's what I'm saying. So if Ronda does this one job and wins, then that gives her more street cred to come back to the WWE because she's not going to stay there forever. We know that's not going to happen. But, like I said, that's just the other rumor. So she fights Shayna. That gives us that fight because I don't think they've ever fought officially. And if they fight, then, let's say Shayna, breaks her arm or something like that, allegedly, that gives Ronda the ability to go off. You know what? I'm about to flip him out of here. Flip him out. What's Thanos? Let me get my gauntlet on. Do a snap or two. But, that's the rumor. So I wasn't happy with it. But, I get it. But there's still the problem, even with the belts going back to Liv and Raquel, is there's still not enough female tag teams. So
that's why they did. That's why they did what I said they did from the beginning. You include NXT and SmackDown. Let them do all three brands. That way, that opens up the pool for the women's tag team division and gives them more people to do.
That may
it's still not that larger than it would be if they were to do one show.
Yeah, that's basically, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to throw a bunch of
total
tag teams.
Who they got? In NXT, they just called up the tag team that was there. So, you know, there's really not any strong female tag team presence in NXT. Raw, well, it was Liv and Raquel. And then, yeah, that's still a problem. So they're going to have to bring more women in to balance this out.
Like you said, you got Katana Chase and
what's her name? One. Yeah, they brought them up, so that's one. And Katie Carter.
You still got
Aladon and
shit.
What's the other UK girl?
Fire.
Yeah, the Fire. So that's two groups.
Don't forget about
Bailey. Bailey still has Kai.
Yeah, Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai.
So that's three. That makes four with Liv and Raquel. Five with Shayna and Ronda. That's still 5 teams out of the 3 brands. That's not enough. They got to fix it. Or they're going to have to cobble together some teams. Hey, do what AEW is doing, a blind tag team eliminator tournament, and then throw together
that tournament. There's nothing blind about that tournament other than it's just Adam Cole.
I know.
I mean, they put Swerve and Keith Lee together just for shits and giggles.
Yep.
Just to put some drama in it. Everybody else is tag teams. So we got Johnny TV and QT Marshall. Who's the other teams in it?
I don't know. I didn't even care to look because once I saw that they had put Swerve and Keith Lee back together, I'm like, come on, man, this isn't even believable.
Oh, speaking of Keith Lee, are you happy?
Yes, I'm totally happy.
You happy now that he shaved and dyed his hair? Are you happy now?
He looks just like Keith Lee. I don't know who that other guy was. He may have went to the Fountain of Youth in reverse. He was having some trouble. But we'd have found Keith Lee. He was probably out in the wilderness right there. That doppelganger was taking his money, probably sleeping with his wife. But now the real Keith Lee has returned, basking in his glory.
I'm gonna say something real quick. Let me address what BJ said. I don't know what he mean with stop with the Mayweather. I don't know what you wanted me to say. Truth is truth. If we want to talk greatest pound for pound boxer of all time, it ain't Floyd Mayweather.
I'm not saying it's Floyd Mayweather. I'm just talking about it's a funny situation.
I get what you're saying.
Draw. That's the only comparison. There's nothing more anymore to boxing than that. It's just the draw. And to finish what I was saying on that, with it being both companies all under one umbrella, it's not like you have to jump through some hurdles to make it happen. And then Ronda loses WWE opportunity. She could be promoting a fight on SmackDown. So, it's an immediate. She takes the belt and goes straight on to Raw and shows it off if she wins. There's no red tape to cut through if she wins, if that's what happens, and she becomes champion. She's just extra goated. She can wear that around and go and do a WrestleMania match.
UFC and WWE are under the same company now, so
it's easy to keep the party lines together.
You know what? I forgot about that, so I see what you mean now. I sure enough forgot about that. That is my fault.
So, because I was thoroughly screwed over, do you have any last words, Le Old Champion, before we move on to remembering somebody that we lost this week?
Well, first of all, I'll say oldest part, longest line. Continue, KG.
Okay. I'll say this. I was a fighting champion, fighting. It just it didn't work out. So.
Okay, you need to go feed that gerbil.
Probably got smacked again and she messed up the signal because he lost. Smacked the handkerchief right off his head. Ho. Did he catch all that?
He gonna mess you up, man. He gonna get next time. He gonna mess you up.
Like I said, I just said how all that comes together. But either way, before we wrap it up, we want to take a moment to remember Darren Drozdov, or the Droz. For those of you that may remember back in the Attitude Era, he was a staple for a good little while until there was an unfortunate accident in a match between him and D-Lo that left him paralyzed from the neck down. Still, year over year, I was like, man, hopefully Droz gets better. He would, get a little sensation here, a little sensation there, but unfortunately, nothing fully came to fruition, even through his foundation to raise money to help with spinal support and things like that. So that way, folks in the same position could get, the motorized wheelchairs and things like that, and find some ways to be able to help restore function in a spinal situation. But I mean, he was what, 54? So
yeah,
he's been around for a long time. You may have seen him in his current state in a couple of Dark Side of the Rings, as he's done some stuff like that. And, he's gone out there and met some fans and things at some conventions. So he's still been in there. WWE has been taking care of him this whole time because, that was an unfortunate situation that happened under their purview. So he's been there, really close friend of D'Lo Brown and several other superstars from that generation, Savio Vega, Godfather, etc. So, everybody speaks about him. Mark Henry, really good dude. Considering everything that happened, he's not like super bitter and just, I hate, WWE and stuff. He understood things happen. And, that was just an unfortunate situation that when he came down from Powerbomb, he just didn't take it the right way. And, that's that situation where they talk about don't try this at home. Even though they're trained professionals, one bad situation, they're not able to brace themselves and, to move, or something's out of sync. It could go that way. But still, considering that happened to him, to still be, cheerful and optimistic and trying to do things to better everybody else, that shows to his character. What about you guys?
To think that somebody can start a career by just being able to throw up on you. It lets you know any little talent that you got can get you somewhere. I mean, look at what it got him. I mean, the man became a member of the LOD, Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
He got the shoulder pads and the paint and everything. So I mean, he had a good career while it lasted, and he was still available. Even in the wheelchair. They brought him out for certain things, and like you said, he's part of the dark side of the ring, and did all that charitable. The charitable organization that he put together, he was still viable within the wrestling community, doing good things for in and outside the ring. So, his life was not wasted, and his life wasn't just put aside because of his situation. He made the best of his situation and did what he could for others while he could. So, you got to give it to him. Rest in power, brother.
Absolutely. What about you, KG?
Be honest, this one hits a little closer to home because that's a former Maryland Terp, and he played right here in my backyard. He earned a bachelor's in criminal justice.
Mm-hmm.
Played in the NFL for 3 years. I remember him as a part of the Legion of Doom. And if I'm not mistaken, if we want to be real technical about it, he was the last living member of the Legion of Doom. I don't really count Heidenreich, but he was the last living member of the Legion of Doom.
Yep.
And, I felt that was a controversial storyline, but everybody said it had to be done. And, but you think about that and you go a little bit further, and the matches him and D'Lo Brown put on. What was that? I think D'Lo was he the Intercontinental Champion or was he the European Champion? I can't remember which belt he held at the time. But they had battles every week on SmackDown.
I think it was the Intercontinental belt.
Okay. And because I remember Ivory was coming out with that damn scarf. With she was the valet for D'Lo Brown.
Hey. No, you will not put that on Ivory. Not my glow girlfriend. Absolutely not. Boy, you don't understand. You about to lose some signal up in here.
Well, Ivory was she had came out with D'Lo, and Albert and Droz had tied D'Lo up in the rope, and they was getting ready to pierce his tongue because that was his personal piercing artist. That's how we first learned about Prince Albert.
Yeah, that's when he had all those piercings and whatnot, coming out to the ring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Ivory ran to the back, and Mark Henry had came back, and that was when Mark Henry came back and he saved D'Lo. And I think it was about a month or two later, he wound up becoming the first Euro Intercontinental Champion, and he wound up giving the European championship to Mark Henry. But it was a great storyline, but unfortunate accident. And just like you gentlemen said, the simple fact that he wasn't bitter about it, that was great. 54 years old, but he did a lot in 54 years. In actuality, he had 3 careers in a lifetime. He was a professional football player, a professional wrestler, and also a professional writer. Because he wrote for WWE the magazine, he wrote for the online articles on Bite This. He did a lot of writing, after the injury. So, 3 careers in one lifetime. That says something.
Mm-hmm. That goes to show, if you headband wearing, head crack, head giving hope, you can still amount to something. All you got to do is just put your mind to it. Or at least something close to your mind that's also connected to your face.
Here we go.
Oh, man, that's a gift that keeps on giving there, KG. I'm sorry, man. I'm about to just start walking down the street and just start calling people. Like, you headband? Like, what the heck? Like, I don't know. I just heard it. It was, it's one of them hippity hop songs. I'm gonna blame it on them. Yep.
I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Is that the only thing on the list? I may need some more ammo.
Look, if that's gonna be the case, and I still wind up getting in trouble for you, no.
Oh,
Now, look, I gotta go sit in the office after this, and I gotta have a talk, not only with my wife. I gotta have a talk with the guys in the truck who couldn't get to the button fast enough. I gotta have a talk with the boss, BJ. Are you gonna pay this fine?
Yeah, I'll pay this one.
The fines are gonna come down. They're gonna be hot and heavy.
I'll pay this one. Just because I learned something new. And now I know, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe, American hero.
Headband, hole wearing, crack ass, crack. Yep, see? It just flows off the tongue. I'm about to go tell somebody. I should call somebody right now. Tell my mama. Mama, you know they out there calling people head crack hoes? Man.
Just make sure she's not wearing a bandana when you say that. How about that?
Oh no, I bet not. I will back it off of her. Like, you know what that means? My man KG said if you out there doing that, then you one of them garden tool representatives. They'll be out there representing that way. I'm gonna call Monique. That's who I'm gonna call. Monique gonna solve all that. She'll go on the social media and be like, "Babies, I know I talked about the head wraps and all that, but if you got a bandana, don't you be on the corner because you know they're gonna think some things."
Yeah, all these women walking around with these bonnets and whatnot. Yeah.
Now KG gonna have the headbands coming back. See, ruined everything. God daggone you.
And he wearing, knowing he was always wearing bandanas on his head.
You said who?
Yeah, so you wearing a Tupac shirt, and he was always wearing bandanas on his head.
You know what? I think it's time to go.
Yep. Hey man, Pac may mess around and reply to this and to defend himself, so you better watch it.
Well, I'll bring ratings to the show.
He did. He ain't gonna be able to reply. But Pac, you know, he out in Puerto Rico somewhere hanging with Bad Bunny.
We'll get his hologram.
Yeah.
We could probably do that. I think we can afford one headband a year. You going over your house first, KG? All right.
Or we get that dude on Instagram that does the restaurants going up against each other. He does the voices for all the restaurants. Have you seen that dude?
Yeah. It's not your slogan, bitch.
Yes, it's not your slogan, bitch.
That is fucking hilarious.
That shit is funny as hell.
You got something that'll keep you up at night because you'll be down the rabbit hole. You'll be watching all their videos.
Yeah, y'all got to send that to me. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah.
I don't be all up on the grams and stuff like that.
That's on TikTok.
He'll put up a picture of like a restaurant, right? Like a Waffle House or something, right? And he'll have a whole bunch of them. And he'll have this one subject about something in particular, like, yeah, I'm the best restaurant out there. But it'll be just his eyes and his mouth up against this picture. And he'll do different voices for each restaurant. And then Taco Bell is always the one that gets all the heat because he'll at the end he'll do a slogan like a Burger King will say something and he'll be like, "Ha ha, have it your way." And then Burger King will come up like, "That is not your slogan, bitch."
Yeah, I have to check it out.
Yeah, I have to send you that on IG. That shit's funny as hell.
Love it, man.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to apologize for everybody that KG may have offended. All the headband wearing people.
I didn't offend anybody. I didn't say it. You did.
If you are not a woman of the night that enjoys giving fellatio, we apologize. If you are part of the fellatio crew, write into Wrestlemaniacs at Wrestlemaniacs.com and let KG know because he may be doing interviews for a future event.
What they call them, cumbrellas, those eyelashes, big eyelashes.
They call them a couple things. So I just wanted to make sure we put that out there into the ether that, we apologize for those situations.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Thank you.
Well,
next week, we're going to dive all the way into James' favorite topic, truffle butter.
You know what? I would
Truffle.
please. Guard.
Oh, she gonna pop myself. God dang it.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say something totally different. I was like, man, how about we all just go binge watch Kojak or something? But you just had to take it there. I'm trying to be wholesome. It's time to go. It is time to go.
Diversify your bomb.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Konnichiwa, bitches. And that's my